What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, I got my hair tied. I gotta let my hair down. I gotta let my hair down for this. Oh, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready. I can think. I can think now. Oh, that was pretty good, man. I like that. I like that groove, man. I like that. It was called Costa Rica. Good morning, everybody. Whoa, yesterday, you heard, man. If you were here yesterday, I got yanked. We got yanked. Around 39 minutes of a 1 hour, I guess. I was rambling. I kept going. That was fucked up, right? I'm talking from like 39 minutes all the way to like, I look, it's like, 50 minutes. I guess 55 minutes. It's almost time to wrap it up. I look down and there's nothing, everything's frozen. I'm still talking to myself. So we'll try not to let that happen today. Whatever, man. Just, you can't let it get you down, right? We live in a time of, censorship. The idea, I mean, if you would have ever told me when I was a kid, growing up in America, the strength of America is our voice, is our ability to speak openly and freely and express our ideas, the Constitution of the United States of America, the First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and for the most part, you were able to speak your mind. And although it wasn't always received well, that's fine, right? Who's asking for an open reception? But to if you would have told me that we would have lived in a time where, if your opinion or your thoughts or your words don't represent and/or echo the establishment view, the common view, the authorized view, I would have told you were crazy, right? Like what? You can't have an opinion? That's basically what they're saying, right? Everything I say is opinion. There's nothing, unusual about having an opinion, right? But that's the strength of America. But we live in a time now where large corporations have control over the narrative, controlling the speech. And that is, that's the death of a democracy. That's the death of a free people. When people can't speak, some are. If you tell what you see to be the truth and it's not along the lines of the establishment, then you're yanked. Then you're suppressed. Then you're shadow banned. You're eliminated. You're vilified. And if you go along with that narrative, then you're exalted. You're pushed to the front of the line. You're promoted. You're paid. See how it works? All right. So when one, if you just happen to be in line with the establishment view, then good for you. That's fine, and you move to the front of the line. But if you're someone who thinks a little bit and looks at all sides of the coin, all sides of the square, whatever it is, then you're fucked. Then you're vilified. Then you're a bad person. You're someone worthy of not being able to have a YouTube channel, getting fucked over, getting shut down in mid-sentence, silenced. Pow, you're gone. Are we even still here? I don't know, man. Are we still here? Give me a 1 if I'm still here. I don't even know if I'm fucking here or not. Say hello to me if I'm here. So I'll continue as if we're here. So yesterday, right? Yesterday I was doing some interesting walk, and I was down in Soho. And I just wanted to touch on it. You know what? Before we do that, I have to do the advertisement. So, Marcus in the Morning, good morning, and thank you for joining me. The way I fund this thing is through your contributions, because PayPal, YouBoob is certainly not going to do it. They're cutting us off. They're trying to get rid of us. And so to maintain this and keep the truth going, kindly become a Patreon of the channel. That's how this works. This online media works, right? This is the business plan. It's not sitting around waiting for large corporations to sponsor something that they're not interested in. They're not interested in truth. They're interested in continuing the shit narrative. So via PayPal in the tip jar, or become a monthly member. Thank you very much. So I'm walking down Soho, and I'm checking out the new art, and it's pretty interesting. I'm actually using a new device, a different camera. It's very stable. I like it. That was part of it. It's very clear. I think everybody would agree there. So the art is changing. It's not necessarily all Black Lives Matter. It's not exactly the best art that I saw down there. I just happened to be on this corner. I think this is what is it? Grand Street. It's Grand or Broome. I'm not sure which street I was on. We'll see it on the corner when I pass it. But you see some of the art. Some of it's amateur. Some of it is just, some of it is therapeutic for the people making it. But it is interesting how now the violence that once was the bashing of the windows. I don't know if you could call it violence, but certainly vandalism or political protests, smashing windows, has given way to something more beautiful. It's almost like planting. It's like planting daisies on the dead. You know what I mean? Like you bury the body, the body and shit, right? And then you look how clear, look how beautiful my hair looks with this new device. Wouldn't you agree? Wow, that's a sexy motherfucker right there. This guy's hot, right? So so there we were, just checking out the art, and it's mostly artists promoting themselves. I don't know. I'm just going to keep studying this because it's getting really interesting down there. And it is no signs of really anything retail really opening up as we know it for another month or two. So this is going to, I bet you all these upper boards are also going to be covered. The real graffiti people are not down there yet. But anyway, man, I find that shit fascinating, the art. So let's talk. Let's begin with dickhead number one, right? My title's all slurs and bashes. So this idiot at Newsom, California orders people to wear masks in most indoor spaces in California. Wow, California, congratulations. You get to wear your big scary mask indoors all the time. Oh, man, right. The reason I'm talking about this is the comment coming. California on Thursday started requiring people throughout the state to wear masks in most indoor settings and outdoors when distancing isn't possible as the coronavirus continues to spread. Is the coronavirus continuing? We're not allowed to talk about that, right? We're not allowed to question it. The coronavirus continues to spread. Put your fucking mask on. Put your scary mask on. That's the way we're supposed to speak. We're supposed to be machines. Yes, Mr. Newsom, I will put on my scary mask because the coronavirus is spreading. Yes, sir. Science shows that face coverings and masks work. Only maybe 10% of the time when it's done by medical professionals that actually know what they're doing. They're using the mask as a tool. That's like saying, yeah, surgical mask can work. It's like saying I don't know the analogy, but like a screwdriver in the wrong hands can knock somebody's eyeball out. You know what I mean? Like not everybody knows how to use a jackhammer. Right? It's like saying jackhammers fix streets, so get a jackhammer and start jacking the street. A mask is it can prevent spread of germs in both directions if used properly. 95% of people have no clue as to how to use them. But Newsom says, science shows that face coverings and masks work, so you should wear them. They are critical to keeping those who are around you safe. For others, right? Because now if you don't have your mask on, you're infecting others. You're endangering others. And it keeps businesses open. Why? Because we set rules that require it. Right? We make up stupid rules with no scientific evidence to back it, and so you have to follow it, or the economy will crash. We'll crash your economy because you're not wearing your stupid mask. Right? So others states include. Look at this guy. Just look at him. Look at this fool. Look at this jackass. People are going to forget how to smile. I'm telling you. People are not going to, when they finally take off their masks, they're going to be so awkward. Like they're going to go, oh, these are my teeth. Wow, I haven't seen my teeth in months. Right? They probably wear that shit inside the, in the mirror when they're instead of right. It's crazy, man. States including Michigan, New York, Maine, Delaware, and Maryland already have statewide mask orders in place. This is true, right? And I don't know about Michigan, but New York, certainly you have to have a mask on the subway. In the street, I've never seen it enforced. I have seen police standing in front of the entrance to the subway, and I've tested that a few times. I've walked right by them with no mask on, and they don't say anything. It's just a flex. It's just a big flex. You just walk right by them. But it makes people easy, so you put on a little cloth. Put a little cloth across your face. Big deal. Right. Don't wear it. You don't need a surgical mask. As I've said over and over again, is detrimental to your health. The order came as California broadly reopens its economy. In most countries, people can now shop. In most counties, excuse me. In most counties, people can now shop, dine in at restaurants, get their hair done, and go to church, among other things. Good. As restrictions relax, coronavirus cases are increasing. It depends. They're not increasing. They're increasing the number of cases detected because they're testing more. They're testing more. The more they test, the more they will reveal. The virus is a flu, and it's widespread, and it's probably in a third of the population. Big freaking deal. So the more you test, the more people you will find that had it or have it. When you say infected people, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? That they're infected, that they have the virus or they have the antibody? It doesn't even. Whatever, man. So put your mask on and don't fight it, right? Maybe just a big fuck you across the mask or something. I don't know. But we can't give suggestions. We can't give opinion and/or idea. We're not allowed to discuss the intricacies of masks. Mask means mask. Put your mask on. So I'll leave it there. Thank you very much, YouTube. So let's move right along. Nancy Pelosi. This is amazing, staggering, highly offensive, ridiculous. Nancy Pelosi orders removal of Confederate House Speaker portraits from the Capitol. Oh my gosh! Right, so she's denigrating, desecrating, pissing on, shitting on American history. So it's unbelievable. It's in a place in Congress where you can barely see it anyway. So portraits, not statues, but portraits of 4 House speakers who served in the Confederacy were pulled from the halls of U.S. Capitol Thursday at the behest of Nancy Pelosi. The House Speaker ordered that the paintings be removed to mark Juneteenth. A holiday observed each year on June 19th to mark the official end of slavery in the U.S. That's a good holiday to celebrate, right? Just people got their freedom and not what? The halls of Congress are the very heart of democracy, says Nancy Pelosi. Now she's the halls of Congress, the very heart of democracy. She wouldn't know democracy if it hit her off the side of her fucking 80-year-old head. Democracy. What? Stealing in elections, rigging primaries? That's democracy. Denying people health care in this country, jacking up pharmaceutical prices for some, and those abroad pay a fraction of the cost. She's a fucking liar. She's a corrupt money grabber. Democracy? Whoa. There is no room in the halls of Congress or in any place of honor for memorializing men who embody the violent bigotry and grotesque racism of the Confederacy. Ooh, she's calling them bigots and racists and grotesque racists. All of the Confederacy. There was no value in half the country's opinion. Nothing. So the artwork depicts Robert Hunter of Virginia, who was Speaker of the House from 1839 to 1841, Howell Cobb of Georgia, 1849 to 1851, James Orr of South Carolina, 1857, 1859, and Charles Crisp of Georgia, who was Speaker after the Civil War, 1891, 1895. Portraits are hanging in the Speaker's lobby and around the House chamber, which is generally closed to the public. So they're in her private chamber, her elected chamber, the chamber that the other members of Congress elected her, and she doesn't like looking at them anymore. She doesn't like looking at four men of the past, right around the time of Lincoln, or actually before Lincoln. Quite a bit before Lincoln and a little after Lincoln. When asked about the removal of the portraits, House Minority Leader McCarthy said, "The Speaker has the power to do that." Does she really? Pelosi has also called for a dozen statues commemorating people who served in the Confederacy to be pulled from the Capitol, though she doesn't have the authority to remove them. So what's the difference between pull and remove? Who knows? This comes as Confederate monuments and symbols in several states have been ordered removed or have been vandalized during protests sparked by the May 25th killing of George Floyd at the hands of Minneapolis police. So there is a movement in this country to erase the rich history. So let's look at some of the people that this clown is trying to get rid of. So the first portrait is of Robert Mercer Hunter. That's his name, Robert Hunter. Robert Hunter was a Virginia lawyer, politician, and plantation owner. He was a U.S. representative, House Speaker of the House during the American Civil War. He was Confederate Secretary of State, 61-62, Confederate Senator, and critic of the then President Jefferson Davis of the Confederacy. After the war, Hunter failed to win re-election back in the U.S. Senate. So where's the forgiveness? Where is the goddamn forgiveness of a torrid history? That was the deal. That was the deal. That is part of the deal that the Confederates got when the Civil War was over, that they would not be tried, that they would be fully readmitted into society and American life. And Nancy Pelosi doesn't agree with that idea. Never forget. Never. She's a fucking communist, for lack of a better term. So what was this guy's sin? The guy was a stellar politician throughout his career. He was a U.S. Senator, Speaker of the House. Who else? So here's this guy, Howell Cobb, got his. Well, look at him. He looks like fucking Frankenstein. No, he looks like. What does he look like? I don't know. That's an interesting portrait. It's a beautiful guy. Beautiful. Howell Cobb, but he's not allowed to be in the halls of Congress because why? Was an American politician, a Southern Democrat. Cobb was a 5-term member of the United States House of Representatives and Speaker of the House. He was Speaker of the House 40th governor of Georgia, secretary of the Treasury under James Buchanan. Whoa, stellar. Cobb is, however, probably best known as one of the founders of the Confederacy, having served as the president of the Provisional Congress of the Confederate States. Delegates of the southern slave states declared that they had seceded from the United States and created the Confederate States of America. So that is his cardinal sin. That's a sin right there. How sinful he was. He was part of a civil dialogue that was going on in America that resulted in a lot of dead bodies and a lot of killing over, what's arguably labor, the labor force, the slave force. Slavery good? No, it wasn't good. But again, it's never good to lose your. I get the sense that civil war in this country was more over the labor dispute. How are we going to, if you're going to free our labor unit, however despicable it is, what are we going to do? How are we going to pick cotton? How are we going to stay rich? So it was an economic issue, and blacks, for whatever reason, were at the butt end of that shit. But anyway, it's our history. It's a history of a great nation, right? So here's another guy, James Orr. This is great, right? This is history, right? We're having a history lesson here on Marcus in the Morning, because who would even remember these guys, right? Nancy Pelosi is just saying, Confederates, bad, we have to take them down. They're bad people. They're racists, and they're bigots, right? But now we're introducing these fine Americans to the public and airing it out, right? We're finding out who they are. James Orr was an American diplomat and politician who served as the 22nd Speaker of the House, not too shabby, 1957-59. He also served as the 73rd Governor of South Carolina from 1865 to 1868, after a term in the Confederate Senate state. So he became governor. He was a governor after he was elected. They forgave him. He ran for governor. He was the governor of South Carolina. Right? So he's an outstanding gentleman, right? Outstanding guy. Why are you taking his picture down, Pelosi? Why are you taking his picture down, Pelosi? He's done more than most Americans have done in 10 minutes than they do in their lifetime, right? Right? The guy's an accomplished guy, right? They all are. All the fine folks so far. And this last guy, Charles Frederick Crisp, was a United States political figure, a Democrat. He was elected as congressman from Georgia in 1882 and served until his death in 1896. From 1890 until his death, he was leader of the Democratic Party in the House as either the majority leader or the Speaker of the House. He was also the father of Charles Crisp, who also served in Congress. Now, reading that, what did he do Confederately? At the outbreak of the Civil War, he was temporarily residing in Virginia with his parents. This guy was from England, by the way. So there's no real indication of why is he even hanging in there. He was a Speaker of the House. Great, that's why he's in there. He was a House minority leader and Speaker of the House. He was both. Why is a long history, and I'm not going to read it. But why? Why did he get yanked? There's no Confederate. So fuck you, Pelosi. So now you know. Orders removal of Confederate House Speaker portraits. Why? Because it's just something to do, right? People are fucked up, man. This lady's crazy, man. She's fucking nuts. Why is a long history? And I'm not. Whoa, that hurt. That hurt my eardrums. So we talked about him. We talked about her. We talked about them. Okay, so someone said, I think it was, I don't know who just said it in the chat, but somebody said there's the blue flu. Blue flu. Blue flu is cops leaving fast and furious from the police force. They realize that if I can't follow orders and crackheads, I'm out of here. Or they're like, I think that what we're doing as police is wrong, and I'm going to leave. It's more of the former than the latter. Most cops are not leaving because they think that policing is wrong. They're leaving because they believe policing is correct, and that people are wrong to not want to get their heads bashed by them. That's the majority, at least in my view. That's the majority of why cops are leaving Fast and Furious. So NYPD is no exception. Very, very large, influential, and precedential. They set precedents across the country. Force. NYPD cops encouraged to strike on July 4th to give city its independence. So this is a smack in the face, right? Now, Independence Day, I'll tell you what 4th of July looks like in New York. You can't even go near the border. You can't even go near the sea, right? So they shoot the fireworks most of the time on the west side. So the whole west side highway, everything's blocked off. But it's like you're like cows. You're like, I don't go there anymore because I might go this time because there's no tourists in town and it could be enjoyable to watch. But what happens is everybody piles into the coastline, right, of Manhattan, wherever you could. That's where the fireworks are. They're between New Jersey and Manhattan, in the Hudson River. Right? Yeah, the Hudson, and you sit there, but there's a million fucking cops, and they got everything barricaded off. They have no walk zones, so parts of the highway are empty, so that the police can walk back and forth and corral the people trying to fucking lounge out and watch the fireworks. It's so degrading. Right? I won't go there. It's hot. They don't supply any bathrooms. There's no mobility. Once you're in, you can't move. They make it fucking miserable. Right? Unless you're a billionaire and you got a rooftop in Manhattan to watch it, or you're lucky enough to have your windows facing it, you can't even see the fireworks. You got to watch it on TV like everybody else. So if there's no police, how would it look? Right? It might be actually wonderful. It might be actually human beings, human people interacting with each other and negotiating the space on their own without two cops for every one person telling you which way you can walk and which way you can't walk. So I like the idea. Let's try it. Let's see. Let's have a holiday without being bombarded with stupid, arrogant, killer police waiting to bash heads for you doing something wrong. And most of the time, they just turn around and watch the fireworks anyway. They're sitting there, they're smoking, they're talking on the phone, they're drinking water, whatever. NYPD cops encouraged to take strike on 4th of July. Ooh, we're so scared. We're so scared. Hey, how about you take it and stuff it up your ass? A labor strike is brewing in the NYPD. They would technically they would be fired for that. They can't strike. That's in their contract. If they strike, they're fired. Unless all of them do it at once, and then they would override that rule. But for the most part, law enforcement cannot strike. You sign that agreement before you get in there because you're an essential worker. A pair of flyers making their rounds among NYPD officers are encouraging them to call out sick July 4th as retribution for police reform and a perceived anti-cop climate following the outrage over high-profile police killings of unarmed black men across the country. Multiple cops told the Post. See, it's retribution. Oh yeah, you wanna get rid of us? Okay, it's almost like anarchy. It's almost like it's an anarchist statement from the NYPD saying, "Oh yeah, fuck you." Right? Oh yeah. You think police? You think police are brutes and animals and counter to peace? Watch this. Watch what happens. It almost sounds like a threat. It sounds like they're going to. It sounds almost like they're going to create a little ruckus. Right? See, because if everything goes well, right? Say let's go one step further. Say the NYPD strikes on 4th of July. And we have this wonderful celebration, and everybody's barbecuing out on the street for once, and actually cleaning up after themselves, and and respecting each other. Imagine that should happen in America, where we don't need police looking down our throat with a boot on our throat, and everything goes well. What would happen? What would how could the NYPD possibly explain their way out of that one? That's what I want to see. I'm excited. I hope they fucking go, man. I hope they strike and never come back. That would be great. Then we could just, listen, man, there's plenty of unemployed people in the world. Employ some real people. Employ some people with criminal records that actually know, how the other side feels. As consultants, you get a couple of criminals as consultants. So one message calls for the strike to kick off at 3 p.m. July 4th. Well, that's kind of late in the day, but the fireworks don't happen until at the nighttime. NYPD cops will strike on July 4th to let the city have their independence without cops, the message, which is being passed among cops via text. These guys should all go. Just go. Fucking quit, resign, get fired, walk away, go buy yourself a nice country home somewhere, fucking leave it all behind. NYPD. Cops that say we can't strike because of the Taylor law. I know that. I know that law. Cops that say we can't strike because of the Taylor law, the message reads, referencing a law that makes public worker stoppages punishable with fines and jail time. See, I didn't know that. I thought they just got fired, but they get fined and jailed. These people and this city doesn't honor us. Why honor them? So this is very, very interesting. It's very interesting. I didn't know that. So if the cops, this is great, right? If the cops do this, if you don't see, if police, NYPD goes on strike on 4th of July and walks off the job, they are subject, according to the Taylor law, punishable by fines and jail time. Wow. I want to see them prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Whatever that law is, fill up the jails with cops. Fill it up. Let them do their time. What are they going to do? 10 days in jail? Perfect. Fill it up. It's unclear whether the messages are being written by other police officers. Of course it is, if they have access to the system. Another message seen by police officers reads, Blue Flu, and instructs cops to call out sick on Independence Day. Police officers like you and me took an oath to protect strangers regardless of race, color, class, or gender. The message reads, Today we are vilified and must stand as one. It's just blatant ignorance. You're vilified because of the way that you behave. You're cracking heads. You're shooting people in the back over nothing. You shot Eric Gardner and choked him out. You choked that fucking Floyd guy, right? The guy had his knee on his throat on video. What do you mean vilify? What do you mean? Yeah, they're isolated instances, but they're still happening. They're happening over and over again, and people want reform. They're fucking tired of it. Vilify? Where's your empathy? Oh, I understand that there could be some changes in policing, and I'm all for it. That's the proper answer, but no, vilify. It then gives instructions for a sick out, telling members to call their precinct and request a sick day. If they are denied, the message instructs them to call the main NYPD sick desk. That's how that works, by the way, in law enforcement. It's like any other job. You call in sick. You have to call the desk, I think, an hour beforehand or no less than an hour beforehand, between 1 and 2 hours. Very specific when you call in sick. Even if you're fucking sick, you got to get up and make the phone call. So yeah, take a walk, guys. Bye-bye. Yeah, show us your back, you idiots. So Hannity, I just want to talk about this idiot. Hannity has some good moments, but this is a brain fart right here. This guy is just brain farting. So he's taking the side of the police. How America is going down the toilet. How America is full of shit because they want the liberals, the liberal left. They want no police, and they want anarchy, and they want trouble. That's what he's saying. So let's listen to Hannity talk. This was last night. America is at a tipping point. Yeah, a tipping point for good, you clown.
Welcome to Hannity tonight. So much breaking news we will be covering throughout the entire hour tonight. Now, both officers are charged in the Rayshard Brooks killing. That's the one in Atlanta. They have now also surrendered. And we have key details, new details surrounding the arrest that you didn't hear from the district attorney yesterday. Keep in mind, you can't indict a ham sandwich, but the high bar will be 12 people on a jury beyond a reasonable doubt. There's a lot of developments. But first tonight, I want us all to step back as a country. We need to step back, take a collective deep breath, and understand this moment and realize this country is at a tipping point. It's dangerous. We're at a point where we will either go the way of law and order, peace, prosperity, one American family, and the way of safety and the way of security. Or we will go down the road of liberal lawlessness and total anarchy. Now, because...
So liberal lawlessness, I'm going to give this a thumbs down. Or total anarchy. Right? It's spoken like a true head up his ass, kind of guy, right? He's not, it's just like, I just find it profoundly shallow, where he has no empathy whatsoever for the people that were killed by police, and all the empathy for people trying to reinforce a system of what Hannity's calling law and order, that blatantly and inescapably doesn't work for 99% of the people. The law and the order. The laws are created for a ruling class and establishment, whatever, oligarchs, and the order is do it or we will start cracking your head. Get out of the street. Put your mask on. Fucking whatever we tell you. Right? Pay tax. Pay this tax. Pay that tax. This is the law. You break the law, we throw you in jail. This is the time you spend in jail. Over and over again. That's the law and order that people are trying to change in this country. That it got so out of hand and so retarded. Right. So let's listen to more Hannity.
Sweeping, broad, in many cases false generalizations of groups of people, and let's be honest, outright lies at times. Well, that we are about. I
think what's most profound when you watch Hannity is do you really believe that he believes what he's saying, or he's just reading off the prompter? I don't think so. I think he's an actor. I think he's very wealthy at this point, and he doesn't really care. He's so detached. He'll say anything. It's all politics. His goal is to say anything that promotes Trump and Trump's reelection. He's just siding. He's a hack. I believe he's a hack. I don't think he believes what he's saying for the most part. Well, maybe he does. Maybe he does believe it in the core of, his heart of hearts. But it's rather scary.
Seeing police officers, and the smears against those that stand in the way of chaos and you in the safety of your family, this nonstop rush to judgment is intensifying all around the country, especially in big cities by the hour. Now, this madness to defund, dismantle, destroy police departments, it is now a clear and present danger to the entire country. People will, and we'll have more details later, as Dan Henninger pointed out in the Wall Street Journal, they will be fleeing big cities in droves. Police across the country now are under attack. It is unfair, it is sick, and it is twisted.
That's the incident in New York City, by the way. He's flashing this incident of two looters coming out of a store. The cop tries to grab him, he punches the cop in the mouth.
It is twisted.
I remember that. Knocks the cop on his ass.
Not all cops are bad. 99%, as a matter of fact, are heroes. Look at the city of Atlanta, where just last night it appears that we are now seeing the beginning. It actually has a name. A lot of police are calling in sick. The name, Blue Flu. Large numbers of officers are calling in sick, basically saying, you know what, enough is enough, following the charges in the Brooks case.
So there you go, Blue Flu. Do we agree with Hannity? I mean, I don't want to watch all this, but Hannity is he's the other side of Rachel Maddow. I don't know what Rachel Maddow's talking about because I couldn't bear to watch it, but lack of empathy, lack of understanding, Mr. Hannity. Go away, right? Why don't you go on strike with the fucking police, right? You can go. How about this? You go, Hannity. Go to New York, right? And for 4th of July, and you can hang out with the police, and you can report on how disgruntled and how indignant the NYPD police feel about being vilified for killing people in the street. For bad policing, what most at this point, most of its residents think of as bad, vile, corrupt policing. Maybe you can do that story. Let's hear what you have to say, right? So if that's decided to, but he'll never get, a guy like Hannity, he'll never get off his ass and never go experiment to actually question the people that he's talking about and find out for himself firsthand. So good morning, everybody in the chat. Good morning. I've been rambling over here. So, who do we got in the house? Who's in the house? Good morning. Ann B is here. Based Brooklyn Bebop. Bill West is in the house. Carol Hayes, thank you very much. Chris Milk. I've been calling you Chris Mike for the longest time. I didn't see the L in there. Chris Milk, Jason Walsh, Lee Lamb, live in the moment is here. Pat Hacker, my nemesis. Sassafras, Spirit Child, Vinny D. Martini on the wrench. Don't be a dick in the chat. And Vinny won't chop you out. He won't silence you. Right? So that's not censorship. When you're being a dick, there's a big difference, right? There's a big difference between censorship, like what happened with YouTube yanking the whole fucking channel, yanking the whole stream in mid-sentence, and you being a dick in the chat and getting quieted down. Right? There's a huge difference, right? So don't be a dick. And Vanderloo, good morning, Vanderloo. So Liz Rivard is here, based Brooklyn. I hope I got everybody. Harkview Cinema's here. Good morning, Harkview Cinema. So anyway, where were we? So this is fascinating too. This is brutal, honest. You gotta love it, right? You gotta love it or hate it, but nonetheless, it's brutal, honest. It's a very, very expressive art here, and I want to talk about that beautiful art coming out of none other than Iran. So Iran government. Hold on a second. What the fuck is going on here? What's going on here? Dude, my shit is all messed up, man. My shit is all messed up. So Iran governed by one of the most racist regimes on earth, says Zero Hedge, has sponsored an international art exhibit using the death of George Floyd to tar America as deeply racist society. Now, this is interesting, right? It's freedom of expression. That's a pretty good one, right? That's the police, the KKK police, the depiction of a KKK police shooting a red-blooded American born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Had a couple of beers on the line for Wendy's, and he gets shot by police. Right? Is there truth in the art? I think so. Yeah, you could vilify George Floyd, say he's a criminal, say he had a criminal record, he was this or that, the other thing, and fucking who cares? You killed the guy. You shot him twice in the back. All right? So that's some good art. What else we got? The exhibit titled "I Can't Breathe" includes art that depicts U.S. police as Nazis and Klansmen. Let this ad play out, and we'll look at some more. Whoa, some serious shit right there, right? Look at this. USA Nazis. There's a target, I guess. I can't really see that one. We can't see it. And it's not very revealing. I mean, if you're going to release some photos, why don't you do some good ones so we could at least see it? Here's the one that I stole. What is this? Another advertisement? God damn, this shit is like crazy with the advertisement.
The interaction between black people and the police. Well, now a new shortcut has been developed. This is the post.
That has nothing to do with what we're trying to find out. This is a good one. I love this one. I edited. I took a little bite out of it. Right. So mainstream media is pointing to the violence put out towards the police, directed at the police, saying this is violence. Mainstream media. This is violence. And meanwhile, oh really? Tell me more with the cops cop's knee on the dead guy's throat. Right? That's pretty powerful. Right? It's powerful art. Is it propaganda within the country? Who cares? It's still good art. Right? I think they should put some of this up down in Soho. So a lot of Ku Klux Klan references. I don't know. I don't think that's really accurate, but I think that's a little ignorant because a lot of the police across this country are multiracial. In New York, it's a minority force. There's more blacks and minorities than anybody. They speak every language. They speak, you see Chinese cops on the street in Chinatown. They speak Chinese. Arabic cops, Russian cops. We have every kind of cop in New York. Every kind of NYPD. They speak every language. And they're hired because they speak that language. So I'm not really with this one where the Klan, police are the Klan. The Klan were a little different. That was a bit of a different messaging. Oops. Oh man, I lost it. Oh, you son of a bitch. Let me see if I can get it back. Saved it. Oh, I saved it. I saved the day on that one. Yeah. So what else? What's this? Tehran hosts here's the video. Let's watch this. I can't breathe. So it's a really shitty video. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one right there. So he's got his knee on the guy's throat. I can't breathe. He's reading. What is human rights? I don't know. What is human rights? I don't know. Are we even live anymore? Are we live? I guess there's no sound on this thing? I guess not. So. Oh, this one has a Trump. This has a Trump knee. Trump knee. We also witnessed the wave. This is interesting.
و چون اون فریاد استغاثه و زاری با کلماتی مثل من نمیتونم نفس بکشم همراه بود، عنوان نمایشگاه رو هم گذاشتیم نمیتونم نفس بکشم. به نظر ما این یک آتش زیر خاکستر بود که حالا جورایی خودش رو نشون میداد و
I don't really care what this guy has to say. I just want to see the art. Oh, this is a good one too. Ooh, the American guillotine. Ah, wow, that's powerful, right? I don't know. It's a little short. It's not great art. I'm not going to say it's great, but it's pretty interesting. What else we got here? That's the video. I Can't Breathe. That's a Jewish thing, right? While the collection featured pieces of, whatever. What's this? If you're dark-skinned walking in the U.S., you can't be sure you'll be alive in the next few minutes.
اسیر کردن سیاهان یکی از ماجراهای گریه آور تاریخ است. از اقیانوس اطلس کشتی‌ها رو می آوردن در سواحل کشورهای غرب آفریقا مثل گامبیا و امثال اینها نگه می داشتن، بعد می رفتن با تفنگ و از این سلاح‌ها دستشون خالی بود، جوان و مرد و زن رو صدها و هزارها می گرفتن، با شرایط بسیار سختی با این کشتی‌ها می بردن به آمریکا برای بردگی.
That part of history, by the way, isn't very accurate because a lot of the slaves, not in Morocco, when they were rounded up in West Africa, were rounded up by West Africans. It wasn't like Europeans came over or the Americans came over. They just it was like a market. It wasn't the Americans going into Africa rounding people up. It was the West Africans. It was the Moroccan people going into the middle of Africa, finding people and selling them. Oh yeah, okay. The Europeans bought them or whatever. The British and the Spanish bought the slaves, but they certainly didn't go in and they were for sale.
به عنوان برده انسان آزاد را که تو خانه خودش زندگی میکرد تو شهر خودش زندگی میکرد به اسارت میگرفتن. اون دیروز
That's propaganda. That's propaganda. Your past is like your present. Evil. That's not propaganda.
اون امروزتون سیاهان آمریکا هستن.
Hey, you know what? If this bothers you, if this boils your blood, right? Propaganda coming out of Iran, this'll fucking twist Trump's testicles. Trump is pissed off right now looking at this shit. He's like, "Fuck you, Iran! I'm gonna blow you up." Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah! I'm gonna blow you up. You know who I am? I'm the president. I'm the king. I'm the president. I'm very important. I got my finger on the button. It's Trump.
از حقوق انسانی محرومن.
It's good if it bothers you. That's my point. All countries do this stuff. While African Americans make up 9% of the population of Los Angeles, this is some interesting fact. 1/3 of them are homeless. Some of these facts are accurate.
هنوز مسئله تبعیض نژادی در اون کشوری که مدعی آزادی و حقوق بشر است حل نشده است. هنوز انسانی به جرم پوست سیاه تأمین ندارد که زندگی کند در اون جامعه. یک وقت لازم باشد یک پلیسی او را تا حد بکش کتک میزند به جرم سیاه پوست بودن. اینا ادعای حقوق بشر میکنند.
They got them all in there. They had Eric Gardner. They got the whole bunch. Some don't think Black Lives Matter. There's more propaganda, but that's a good one. Look at this. This is an art. This is an exhibit. Look at this shit. Wow, just a guy hanging out. Right, he's fucking hanging. He's letting it all hang out. Right? With the Iranians, that's a great photograph. Right? They do that too, man. They fucking come on. Iran is no. I'm not saying that Iran is innocent. I'm just saying that because they do the same thing. It's a propaganda war. It's a propaganda war, and some of it is fascinating. What else can we look at? Should we stuff down their throats what the Islamic slave trade did to black men? It's probably a lot of that, right? Iran, Iraq. These guys are, every country, I guess, has a brutal history. So anyway, I guess pick my favorite. I think this is the one right here, right? That's really where we're at right now. Right? This issue of violence. So what else we got here? Oh yeah, I guess we have to talk about the election. So is everybody still here? Am I still here? I don't even know, man. I'm just still talking, man. I'm just gonna keep talking until they cut me off. So let's talk about the election, and then I think I went over a little bit, but let's talk about briefly the election, because we're having an election in November, a free and fair election in a fair country. Who's going to cheat who? Trump versus Biden. Let's go. The horse and pony show. Let's go. Are you going to vote? Who are you going to vote for? So throughout the Bernie Sanders versus Biden and everybody else, I was covering this quite extensively. I was looking at on a daily basis to Real Clear Politics to look at the fake polls. And it seems that without exception, Biden is decimating Trump. Except in some very, very scattered areas. So this is the latest polls in New Hampshire. Biden by 7 in Fox News national. Biden by 12 national. Quinnipiac Biden by 8. CBS Biden by 10. Economist YouGov Biden by 9. CNBC, Change Research, these are all what they call reputable pollsters. Biden by 3, CNBC, these are specific states. So it's a Biden sweep according to the fake polls at this point. New Mexico, Biden by 14, Michigan, Biden by 16, Michigan. So I don't know. Are enough people waking up to realize that that Trump was a phony, that Trump was not in their best interest, was not that Trump was in the pocket of the billionaire class and not in the pocket of the workers? And is there statement? Sometimes there's a statement in just getting rid of the incumbent, right? Voting out the incumbent, voting for change. All right, so is Biden that guy? Are they just going to vote for Biden because he's not Trump? Well, according to these fake polls, this is what the mainstream media is trying to sell. All of these agencies are trying to sell you on the idea that Joe Biden is winning. I don't know. I mean, it's just not accurate. It's Joe Biden, fucking sleepy Joe Biden. The campaign hasn't even started yet. Trump is gonna decimate this guy when it finally comes down to it. So, as well, I consider this politics. So John Bolton, you remember John Bolton, mustache man, the guy to the right of Trump. This guy's a warlord. This guy's a war criminal. He's the one who vilified Nicaragua, Venezuela, and one other South American country as the troika of evil. Right? He tried the troika of evil, right? This is the guy that did it. He tried to vilify Venezuela when it was in his best interest. And now that Trump fired him, he puts out a 600-page hit book on Trump, and Trump is trying to stop it. So it is interesting. This is politics. This is now the guy's trying to get a job on mainstream talk show shit or whatever, or a news consultant, but really a backstab for Trump. More excerpts trickle out Thursday from John Bolton's upcoming memoir of his time in the Trump White House as the Department of Justice prepared for an emergency court hearing to block its release. Whoa, what happened to free speech? Free speech out the window? They'll try to block it. Trump will try to block it on the grounds of confidentiality. Oh, no, it's confidential. Bolton's not allowed to speak. He worked for me, and I'm the president, and you can't speak. You're not allowed to speak. So shut up. Pull the book. Trump called it revenge porn. Revenge porn. The nearly 600-page tome by Bolton, who served as Trump's national security advisor between April 2018 and September 2019, is set to be released Tuesday, assuming the feds fail in their bid to keep it under wraps.